Happening now, what new business will be moving into an old factory here in Jamestown? Plus, hear how a local sports card and memorabilia store is getting ready for the holiday season. Will they be impacted by the shipping delays nationwide? We'll let you know.
Well, that lake effect snow machine is going to be cranking up later this afternoon and into tonight. We'll tell you how much snow is ahead next as the news at noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Lake effect snow is expected to return in a wintry blast to our region today. Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. The National Weather Service in Buffalo has issued a winter weather advisory from 7 tonight to 1 Friday afternoon for Chautauqua and Cattaraugus counties. Joining us now is Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter with more on where the snow will fall and how much we can expect. Dakota?
That's right, Justin. Now, as we told you throughout the week, this lake effect snow machine is going to get regenerated once again, and we're ultimately going to see more lake effect snow setting up. So, as Justin told you, there is a winter weather advisory in place for much of the southern tier. There's actually a winter storm watch for portions of northwestern Pennsylvania, which includes southern Erie in Crawford County, Pennsylvania. So the radar right now, it's all been rain, but temperatures have been going downhill. A cold front has swept on through early this morning, so the high temperatures today have already occurred, and all of this rain is ultimately going to end, and then we're going to see the bands of lake effect snow setting up through the afternoon, through the late afternoon, and through the evening hours. So let's talk about this in a little bit more detail. So this is what you need to know going into tonight. So the rain is ultimately going to taper off, and then it's going to transition to lake effect snow later this afternoon, through the nighttime hours, and then through tomorrow. This is also going to be another issue. It will be breezy with winds of around 15 to 25 with some wind gusts of around 30, so some limited blowing snow could be possible. And here's our projected snowfall totals here. We're going a general 2 to 4 inches. That's across the lower elevations. Once you rise up into the hills, you could see some localized totals of 5 to 8 inches. And of course, we'll show you all of that with Future Scan coming up a little bit later on. So to break it down for today, this is where we're going to end the day. 35 to 42. The temperatures continue to fall with rain showers at times. Get a break, and then lake effect starts to develop later this afternoon into the evening. We'll time it all out with Future Scan with that 7-day forecast later on in the show. Justin?
Yeah, certainly, Dakota. We'll see you back here in a little over 12 minutes time. And if you do have any weather-related photos or videos to share throughout the storm, you can do that on social media using the hashtag MyLocalWX. Around 27 new full-time jobs will soon be coming to Jamestown as a manufacturer is looking to redevelop a former factory on the city's east side. The Jamestown Local Development Corporation heard from the city's Economic Development Coordinator and owner of Falcon Conveyor, who purchased 111 Cheney Street during a meeting yesterday. The 5-story brick building will be the home of the new manufacturer's hub for steel belt conveyors. To help get the business up and running, the city is looking into loaning $93,000 from the Jamestown Local Development Corporation funding. Additionally, owner Scott Clark will also be loaned funds from the Zone Capital Corporation and the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency, totaling $472,000. Clark comes to this area with over 30 years of working in that field. For the 4th week in a row, COVID-19 cases increased, with more than 400 new infections reported in Chautauqua County over the past week. The County Health Department, during their weekly COVID-19 update yesterday, reported 436 additional cases of the virus from November 7th through the 13th, with 170 of them here in Jamestown. There are now 475 cases active countywide, with 23 people in the hospital. Additionally, 2 new deaths were reported, over 1,100 people in quarantine. The CDC's level of community transmission still remains high, with officials saying around 55% of new infections are connected to those who are not yet vaccinated. Overall, around 60% of county residents have received at least 1 dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. Well, the Chautauqua County Legislature is officially making it known that they want to remain in a congressional district that contains counties throughout New York's southern tier. The legislature approved a motion 17-2 last night that would place on the record that the body does not want to be redistricted into a district in the Buffalo-Niagara Falls area. Legislators Robert Bankowski and Bob Whitney voted against the motion, which is not a legal decision made by the legislature. New York State's voters approved a proposition in 2014 that established an independent redistricting commission, which contains members of both major political parties. The commission is responsible for establishing congressional district lines based on data obtained once the decade census is complete. New York State lost a seat in the past census, so we will likely be combined with another district. A local sports card and memorabilia store in Jamestown is getting ready for Black Friday and Small Business Saturday. Yesterday, I spoke with those working the family-owned business Ball Game Heroes, who opened their first brick-and-mortar location at 501 West 3rd Street in Jamestown earlier this year. The shop is hosting a day of deals on Friday, November 26th, starting at 5 a.m. and running to 8 o'clock at night. In addition to 10% off most items in the store, free Timbits and Tim Hortons coffee will also be up for grabs. As co-owner Star Ryder explains, his shop is trying to avoid raising their prices amid a nationwide supply chain shortage that's impacting his industry.
You could see signs of it, increased prices here and there. We just spend more time looking for better deals so that we don't have to push those costs back down onto the customer.
He believes the easy way out is simply increasing prices, something Ryder's not willing to do.
It goes back to just treating people the right way. If something has historically been $5 for something and then we all of a sudden come out at $9.50 for it just doesn't feel right.
That philosophy is how businesses like Ball Game Heroes stand out, or at least that's his hope. In addition to the Black Friday deals, the shop is also rolling out a new product this season where kids can build their own trading cards.
First copy is completely free, no strings attached, on the house. They're going to come in, we're going to take their picture. They're going to get to pick their position and what sport they want to play and what number they want.
Explained Ryder, who says the cards will be produced by Falconer Printing.
And then a package of 5 is $20. So super affordable to get 5 pictures taken professionally done and then given out at Christmas.
In addition to the sales on sports cards and fan gear, a lot of Pokemon products will also be up for grabs. Now, those who can't make it to the Black Friday or Small Business Saturday sales can still shop throughout the holiday season. In fact, Ryder is expanding his hours. The shop is open Tuesday and Wednesdays from 2 to 5, Thursday and Friday from 2 to 8, and is open noon to 5 on weekends. Well, major changes could be coming to New York's legal system in the new year. That's according to WBNG, who says Governor Kathy Hochul announced she's willing to work with the state's legislature on potential changes to the state's bail reform laws. Now, these laws, implemented just before the pandemic in January 2020, eliminated cash bail for most nonviolent offenders in an initiative to wipe out injustices in the criminal justice system. However, many blame them for a rise in crime. New York City's Mayor-elect Eric Adams has vowed to push state legislature to rework the laws to allow judges more power to decide which offenders get jail time ahead of a trial. While Hochul didn't say she was in favor of changing the controversial laws, she did say she's open to talks with lawmakers. Well, New York State's U.S. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand is breaking down the federal infrastructure package and explaining how it will impact New Yorkers after President Joe Biden signed the $1 trillion bill this week. Alexandra Dern with our news partner WENY has more on what the senator has to say.
Today, I want to talk about those investments and what they mean for New York and New Yorkers.
Senator Gillibrand says a portion of the funds will be used for broadband expansion.
The package includes $100 million for the state to provide broadband coverage to more than 186,000 New Yorkers who lack it. And it includes another $28 million to help New Yorkers against cyber attacks. Those investments will improve infrastructure across our state and help prepare New York for the future.
Another key takeaway is more than $11 billion will go towards highway projects. $1 billion goes towards Gillibrand's Resilient Highways Act.
I'm proud that the key provision of my bill, Build Local, Hire Local, were included in the package and that it provides $1 billion to ensure that the tear down and reconstruction of those highways not only reconnects communities, but prioritizes training and hiring local workers.
More than $2.5 billion will be allotted towards improving water infrastructure in smaller communities across the state.
The package includes critical resources to improve our water infrastructure because every New Yorker should have clean water to drink. It will deliver $2.6 billion to the state to help replace lead pipes like those that supply water to cities like Buffalo and Rochester. And it includes $5 billion for my provision to help private well owners test for PFAS chemicals, the forever chemicals that accumulate in the body and cause serious diseases.
Alexandra Dern, WNY News.
Coming up, the push to hire nurses in our region amid staffing shortages at local hospitals. And later, a longtime tradition in the village of Falconer is back this year. We break down when and where you can engage in the holiday fun. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
What could you lose in a home fire? Your possessions? Your home? Your memories? Don't let your world go up in smoke. Make sure you have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones, because fire is everyone's fight.
This message was brought to you by the Jamestown Fire Department and the Chautauqua Safety Village.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Welcome to Honest John's Pizzeria, where you are the most important customer.
Everything from freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has it all.
And don't forget the ice cream!
Order online today or check out our 2 great locations with buffets ready for every appetite.
Don't I have the best job in the world?
Remember when you were a kid, huddled around the television waiting for your school to close? Well, we don't get snow days. When winter weather hits, count on the First Defense Weather Team for a look into the future where the snow is headed next. Live radar showing you the scope of the storm and real-time reports from the field. So when it matters most, stay with First Defense Weather.
Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now. You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
America's drug epidemic is the deadliest it's ever been. New federal data suggests. Yesterday, the CDC released the latest numbers on drug overdose deaths. Mandy Gaither has more on what health experts say needs to be done to change this trend.
It's a new record high. More than 100,000 people died of drug overdoses in the U.S. during the 12-month period ending in April, jumping nearly 30% from the same time period a year ago.
This is a national crisis. It knows no geographical bounds, and it continues to get worse.
The CDC says opioids continue to be the driving force in the rising overdose death toll. Synthetic opioids, primarily fentanyl, caused 2/3 of all drug overdose deaths in that time period. On a call, DEA Administrator Ann Milgram says her agency is finding these drugs in every state, reaching an unprecedented level.
This year alone, DEA has seized enough fentanyl to provide every member of the United States population with a lethal dose. And we are still seizing more fentanyl each and every day.
There are likely more deaths yet to be uncovered.
Dr. Trent Hall is an addiction medicine specialist at Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center. He says in his clinical experience, overdose deaths have not gone down since April when this provisional data ended. To change the trend, Hall says Americans need to be aware of local treatment and prevention resources for addiction, monitor friends and family for any signs of addiction, and be prepared.
Narcan kits are easy to obtain from your physician or local pharmacist and easy to use. As you can see, it comes in the form of a handy nasal spray.
I'm Mandy Gaither.
Mandy, thank you. The White House announced the release of a model law that officials say provides states with a framework to make naloxone more accessible to those who need it. Well, back here at home, 2 teens were hurt following a vehicle crash in Sherman on Wednesday night. The Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office says the crash happened on Titus Road around 8:30. The 17-year-old driver was taken via ambulance to Erie for his injuries. Deputies say an 18-year-old was extricated from the vehicle by fire personnel and later flown by Stat Medevac for her injuries. An investigation into the incident, deputies say, remains ongoing. And a 57-year-old Brockton resident is accused of stealing electricity from power lines outside of his home. New York State Police accused Stephen Andrews of theft of services. Troopers received a complaint from an employee with the power company. The employee says they spotted Andrews using a vehicle jumper cable to grab the electricity. Specifically, they say he directly hooked those wires leading from the transformer, circumventing power to the meter. Well, the need for nurses nationwide is greater now than ever. And yesterday, the UPMC Jamestown School of Nursing held an open house in hopes of bringing on new nurses to help the community. Erie News Now's Haley Potter reports on this hiring push.
There's a growing shortage in hospitals across the nation and here locally as the pandemic is taking its toll on healthcare workers, especially nurses.
They're very helpful and hands-on, and I want to do something like that.
Mercedes Vogel recently got a job as a nursing assistant at UPMC Hammett and has seen firsthand the stress and exhaustion the nurses feel every day.
That made me look at nurses different and wanted me to become a nurse.
Which is why she was one of the dozens who attended UPMC Jamestown School of Nursing's open house Wednesday as part of a way for the school to give tours and answer questions for potential students who want to earn a nursing degree like Mercedes.
I seen nurses, like how much work they put in and how undervalued they are, so I wanted to become that.
It's the best job you'll ever have.
Karen Morahan is the director of the nursing school and has been a nurse for over 30 years.
I have had no regrets. It's been everything I've wanted it to be. And nursing is such a diverse calling that you can find your passion in many, many different places.
And she tells me that right now, more than ever, there's a need to fill these classrooms with students looking to be nurses.
There's a nursing shortage worldwide, and with COVID, our nurses are tired and they need relief.
The Jamestown School of Nursing just opened this fall and currently has 100 students enrolled. They hope to recruit 120 for next fall, and seeing potential students at open houses like this one gives Karen some hope.
Hope for the hospital and hope for for Erie that, we will be able to hire them once they graduate.
Haley Potter, Erie News Now.
The Erie Zoo will keep its focus going into the next zoo season despite losing accreditation by the associations of zoos and aquariums. Erie Zoo spokesperson tells our news partner Erie News Now that it has nothing to do with animal care or welfare. They say the loss of accreditation is linked to older zoo exhibits not meeting modern design. The zoo has the option to appeal the commission's decision within the next 30 days, but they haven't decided not to. The earliest the zoo can apply for a reaccreditation is in September 2022. Meanwhile, the capital campaign at the Erie Zoo is continuing. Several projects are expected to be unveiled next season, including monkey and other exhibits. Certainly pretty exciting for zoo goers, and I believe Erie is probably the closest one to us. Let us know what you think about this story and more in the comments section down below. We thank you for joining us for WNY News Now, live here on Facebook and channel 716 on Roku. I'm trying to pick up my tablet, but I just can't. When it's on a flat surface, you can't get the grip.
You need one of these, Justin.
I do. I have that.
Smart keyboard.
But I have this back, but I don't like it, so I like to hold.
You need the smart keyboard.
I'm picky. Good to see Kenra. Good to see Scott, Kevin, and Jennifer and Anna as well. Hopefully you all are having a wonderful day. We appreciate you tuning in here today to catch some news. And really the news has been the weather, or is going to be the weather over the next couple of hours. But it always fascinates me, Dakota, the fact that we're on this like roller coaster here in Western New York sometimes, where we'll be, you know, cold and then warm and then cold, and it's pretty much just what's kind of happening right now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the temperatures today have just fallen right down a cliff. Let's show that to you. These were the high temperatures today. Believe it or not, the highs have already occurred today. 60 was the high here in town, 61 in Clymer, 64 in Fredonia, 63 Dunkirk, 62 in Warren. And again, these were early morning highs. So these highs occurred while most of you were in bed. And the temperatures have really slid on down. In fact, here's the current readings as of noon hour. 41 here in town, 44 in Warren, 43 Randolph, 41 in Delavan, 45 in Fredonia. So the temperatures are going to continue to go downhill from here, and we all know what's coming next. So once again, there is a winter weather advisory in place for much of the southern tier, including Warren County, Pennsylvania, a winter storm watch for lake effect southern Erie County, Pennsylvania, and also Crawford County, Pennsylvania as well. So here's the current sweep of First Defense Doppler showing you the rain that's moving on through. Understand this is just liquid right now. This is the rain that's moving on through. But notice actually some clearing across Erie County, Pennsylvania starting to come on in now. So we're going to see some breaks in this rain coverage, but that's the cold front that swept on through this morning. And notice the Great Lakes already, lake effect snow already, you know, up here. And that's going to continue as we go through the afternoon. So let's show it to you on Future Scan here. The newest run here shows you the rain tapering off, and then there's that lake effect starting to set right up. And understand this is not going to be one band of snow. This is going to be multiple bands that's going to set up through the evening and afternoon hours. And again, Future Scan does a good job of showing the southward jog and then ultimately the northward jog back. And then ultimately as we go through the day on Friday, the lake effect snow will cut out, and then we should at least see maybe some partial sunshine by the end of the day on Friday as we go into Saturday, and Saturday should be a nice day with partial sunshine. So here's the snowfall projections. Here's one computer model output, and I think it's the best in terms of what we're looking at here. So again, this goes all the way until Friday evening. So an average 2 to 4 inches across the lower elevations, but once you rise up into the hills of the southern tier, you could see upwards of 5 to 6 to 7 inches. This purple strip you see right here, that's upwards of 7 to 8 inches. So again, as often is the case, where you get across the hillier terrain, you could see upwards of maybe half a foot. But again, that's going to be confined to the hillier terrain. So again, the next 7 days of your life are right here on the screen. We'll pick up an additional 1 to 2 inches through the day tomorrow before the lake effect snow tapers off. Saturday should be a nice day with limited sunshine. Rain returns on Sunday, then rain to snow on Monday. We watch mid to early next week. Could be another shot for more lake effect snow Tuesday and into Wednesday as temperatures return to the lower 30s. We'll take a break and be right back.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
The registration is being run through the Chamber's sites, which is www.jtny.com. So if you go to click on that link, there's a fillable form online that you can just type in. We'll want to know, obviously a business name or a community group's name, the location, a contact name, and then if you just plan on marching or if you actually have a float. I come from a small business family, so small business to me is very important. I understand about being in downtown Jamestown and being a small business. I want to meet with them and I want to gauge if they're going to be open, number one. If they're number two, would they like to promote a special or something that evening that they can do just for the parade? A good friend of mine, like a teacher at Washington Middle School, Lisa Peters. What do you think about Jamestown, New York, a diverse city celebrating traditions from around the world? Perfect. That's us. That's who we are. That's a great theme.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Christmas is coming early this year as the Santa Parade returns to the village of Falconer. Our Julia Gress spoke with the event's organizers about the importance of reviving this long-time tradition.
Presented by the Rotary Club, the parade is set for Saturday, November 20th, and is part of a long-standing tradition that goes back over 50 years with Santa's house as the focal point. After traveling the village for several years, the house found a permanent home in Colson Park in the 1980s. The park is dedicated and named after longtime Santa Walter Colson. Nina Gustafson, current Rotary Club president, and her husband Alan Gustafson, parade organizer, are thrilled to bring the parade back this year.
The parade has actually grown from previous years. There's several more floats that we never had before. We have the Falconer-Frewsburg Marching Band will be here this year. Elected officials, the Henry Mosier Post Color Guard, they will be here. Blue Star Mothers, of course, fire departments. What's a parade without a fire truck? There's a lot of local businesses that have jumped in.
Though the parade was canceled last year due to the pandemic, this has only encouraged parade organizers to make this year's event the best yet.
This year we're having the parade at 5 o'clock in the evening. This is new for us. We normally have the parade during the day. This year it's at 5 o'clock. It's after the bazaar, the holiday bazaar, which is from 9 to 3 at the fire hall. The Firemen's Auxiliary sponsors that every year. And the children will be able to see Santa after the parade. And while they're waiting to see Santa, we have a petting zoo for them. So it's very exciting to have the kids be able to see that and then see Santa.
Patrons can also indulge in the 3 C's catering food truck while they wait to see Mr. Claus. The Firemen's Auxiliary Holiday Bazaar will include crafts, games, and face painting for the children.
After the parade, we always have the children come and they can sit on Santa's lap and meet Santa and Mrs. Claus and tell them what they want for Christmas.
Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
Julia, thank you. The organizers say that nearly 24 groups have contributed to the event, and there's still time to help. Certainly lots of people, a lot of things in motion as we head towards the weekend. And Dakota, when you look at events like the Falconer Christmas Parade, Jamestown Christmas Parade, it's so great to see them continue for decades in this case. And a village like Falconer, I'm not going to say it's a small village by any means, it's pretty meaty population-wise, but it's cool that they're still able to do this because so many groups over the last year especially have kind of threw in the towel and said, hey, we're out of this business, we're not going to host these events anymore. So it's great because at the end of the day, it's all about the kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, you know, I think that there's something special about seeing kids go to parades, having a great time, and I don't think there's anything better than seeing the excitement on kids' faces when they get to see Santa Claus. Totally. Because, you know, a lot of kids just love that.
They light right up. They really do. And as you saw from the footage from before, it's like these kids line the streets, they're ready, they're excited to see Santa, and then to be able to actually see, so you saw him in the parade, and then you have some one-on-one time with him, I think is so incredible and special about that Santa house that they have. You know, you don't always get that in other places, and especially in bigger cities. So it's really great to see, and thank you to the Falconer Rotary Club and many, many other volunteers who are putting on that event. And of course, there'll be a lot to really kickstart the holiday season coming this weekend.
Anybody making any gingerbread cookies, gingerbread men?
Dakota will stop by if you are.
I love gingerbread cookies.
Oh gosh, it's so good. It's so good. Well, let's get a final check of our weather forecast because tonight I hear it could get pretty hairy, as we were talking about, if people are driving out there on the roadways.
Yes, so as we get into tonight, that rain that we have right now is going to ultimately transition to periods of lake effect snow. So the accumulations by tomorrow morning, 1 to 3 across the lower elevations, 3 to 5 across the hills, and watch out for that wind. It will be blowing some of it around.
All right, Dakota, no rain, no snow yet, just rain, but of course it will be switching over. News 24/7 at WNY News Now. Have a great day.